Hello. So I'd like to share with you my experience, how animals are such a gift to us in our healing process. They can mirror trauma for us, uh, and they can actually mirror illnesses for us, and are just beautiful guidance to what's going on in our lives. Um, I'll tell you a couple experiences I've had. My very first, I'd say my first dog that was my dog, not my family's dog, was my heart dog, and he had very strange illnesses when he hit about 4 years old. Things started happening to him, and I later found out he'd had too much antibiotic, so his body um, couldn't fight off anything very well. His immune system was pretty weak. Um, and lo and behold, I had that when I was a child too. Um, he had all kinds of issues with his intestine, um, all this inner stuff going on with food and all of it. And I actually pulled him through. Took a long time, and I had to actually go and find an alternative vet that would work with me in a different way. And I even asked another vet, a specialist that I'd been working with. I remember I went to her and I said, I've got this gut feeling that if I don't, I've got to find something to help him, and if I don't, I'm going to lose him. And she looked at me and she said, I agree with you. So I had mentioned this other vet, sort of alternative vet that I'd heard of, and she said, I know of her, and she said I'd give it a try. So I did, and she put him on a big protocol of detoxing. Well, lo and behold, he got better, and time went on, and then I got sick, and I got all the same sicknesses that he had. And I later, in reflection, saw that he was trying to show me what was coming, clean up your act or else. And I had to go the same route. I mean, I had regular doctors that couldn't help me at all. And I had to actually find an alternative specialist doctor that could help me figure out how to get better. Um, then I had another dog, and she was my complete mirror to all my shit. I mean, literally, I even struggled with her when she was younger. And I realized it was because she mirrored all of me. And it was parts of me I didn't really want to look at, but I ended up looking at all of it and diving into it and really clearing it. And I remember the day before she passed, she wasn't sick. She was totally healthy. She was 9 years old, and I'd been to the vet with her, gosh, maybe 5 months before, and her blood work was excellent. Everything was good. And I remember the day before, I got a message. A very clear message came to me that she might be leaving me. And I remember I thought, that's really strange because she's totally healthy. Why would she be leaving? And I thought, well, I'm going to take this time as an opportunity. So I actually talked to her, and I said, she was looking right at me, and I just talked to her and said, honey, if this is your time and you're done, it's time for you to go, well then, I just want you to know it's okay, and that I'll be fine, and it's okay. And it's funny because she looked at me and grinned, and it's the next morning that she was actually breathing a little bit fast, and I remember thought, well, that's kind of odd. And but it was a really warm day, and we walked down to the bottom of my driveway with my other dog as well, and she kind of stopped there, and I looked at her and I thought, you know what? It's too warm. Let's just go back up. We can go walking later. And so I turned around, and my boy is young. So she had stopped and was just looking at me. And so I took him up, and I went back for her. And as I was walking down to her, she looked right into my eyes, just so much love. And I went behind her to just help her if she needed it. And she looked up at me, and she fell over dead. And I remember I just was like, whoa, I mean, I'm so glad I talked to her and I had that message the day before, but I was absolutely shocked. And I realized later that she finished what she came here to do. She finished to help. She actually completed her journey. You know, she came to assist me in healing all those parts of me that I had not didn't love. And I completely fell in love with myself again. And so she was done. And then my dog now, I call him my joy boy because I'm now in a place of finding joy in everything. And he is that for me, just completely. But it is really amazing how our animals are all, you know, they can give us messages and show us what's going on. And a lot of people will come to me and ask me for advice with their animals because I am an animal intuitive. And the majority of times, you know, they're like, you know, I don't understand. This is going on, this strange, like, not illness, but something wrong, you know, physically with their animals happening, and they can't figure it out. And, you know, I'll ask them, you know, the diet and all that kind of stuff. But then I ask them, what's going on with you? You know, what's going on with you emotionally? You know, where are you at? And it I can tell you almost every single situation, there is always something that is going on in their life which is causing stress. And I try to explain to them that when you're really close to an animal, they try to carry your stress for you and they try to show your stress. They try to help you with the stress. So if you're really close to them, they can get sick from the stress that you're experiencing, even if it's good stress. You know, they can react to it. You know, if you get anxious, if you have anxiety, if any of that, they get it too. You know, and there are definite practices that you can do with animals that can help them to, it's called what happens is they get a very active mind. And if you think about it, people people tend to have very active minds. And so animals don't really have a chance to be quiet. And this was explained to me too, how if you go out into nature and you see wild animals, and if you can go, let's say you go and just sit quietly in the forest and get to a place where you're not thinking at all, and you may find that you will find animals will come closer to you. The minute you think, if you were to look and see them and think, oh, they're getting closer, the minute you think that, they'll leave because they're bombarded by our thoughts. And animals are very high thinkers because we are high thinkers. And so a practice that's really, really wonderful for them is to be able to sit and completely clear your mind of thoughts and sit and allow and be with them and get them to a place where they can sit calmly. And when they go all the way down to the ground and release, they're in a non-thinking space. And then they find that they really want to be with you and trust you to come to you when they want to be in that non-thinking space. So it's a really beautiful thing to do. And I can talk more about that another time. But I wanted to share this because it's also a really good component, especially for those people that have animals and that are close to animals. Keep an eye on your animal and see what's going on with your animal, because it really can reflect what's going on for you. Anyway, thank you, and I love you.